Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I've been seeing all your comments on TikTok asking me for reviews analysis for this one. So today, it's finally happening. But before we get into that, don't forget to check this exclusive discount for it. You can find the link in both the video description and the top comment below. Now let's not delay any further and jump right into the details.
Opening things up, our first reviewer gives us their take.
This reviewer begins by recounting their experience with this wireless photo printer, noting that initial setup was straightforward until attempting to connect the device to their computer. Our reviewer followed the instructions, accessing the manufacturer's website to download the necessary driver. However, this attempt resulted in an error message, prompting a call to the provided 24/7 technical support line. This client reports that the technical support representative was difficult to understand, and instead of troubleshooting the issue, blamed the computer for the download failure, suggesting a potential virus. This assessment was completely inaccurate, as a subsequent virus scan revealed no such problem. The representative offered no alternative solutions and essentially dismissed this client's issue, leaving them to resolve the problem independently. This experience left our reviewer frustrated and questioning the value of the offered technical support. The resolution, ultimately, proved surprisingly simple. After restarting their computer, this client successfully installed the necessary drivers using the disk included in the product packaging. This method bypassed the problematic website download and resulted in a seamless installation. This client points out the significant oversight by the technical support representative. At no point did the representative inquire about the included disk or even attempt to understand the details of the website interaction. The lack of questioning and problem-solving skills displayed during this interaction left a deeply negative impression. Despite this frustrating technical support encounter, this client reports that the printer itself functions flawlessly. The scanning functionality, in particular, is praised as exceptionally user-friendly, surpassing previous experiences. However, the overall rating is tempered by the significant shortcomings of the technical support team. This client expresses apprehension about requiring future assistance, highlighting the fear that another encounter with poorly trained personnel might repeat the initial negative experience. While the printer earns a 4-star rating, contingent on continued reliable performance, the technical support receives a mere 1 star, acknowledging only that someone answered the phone on the weekend. This client explicitly advises future users to utilize the included disk for computer connection, circumventing the potentially problematic website installation process.
Alright, let's find out what our next reviewer has to share.
This reviewer began their assessment, expressing significant frustration with the limitations of this printer's sizing options. Our reviewer found it unacceptable that precise print sizing wasn't available, complaining that the choices were limited to only bordered or borderless prints. This client felt this severely hampered their ability to print designs to their exact specifications, and voiced their disappointment with this fundamental lack of control. The absence of this feature was deemed ridiculous and stupid, highlighting the intensity of their negative experience. This initial disappointment led this client to question the overall value of inkjet printers, advocating for laser printers as a more cost-effective alternative in the long run. A strong opinion was expressed regarding the expense of ink cartridges, characterizing it as a scam. However, this client's perspective underwent a significant shift after further use. It was discovered that achieving borderless printing actually required selecting the borderless option and asterisk setting the page extension to the minimum setting, a detail that this client found unclear and poorly documented within the printer's instructions. The automatic default of adding borders to prints was again cited as a major design flaw. Despite this initial confusion, this client discovered a surprising benefit. The printer continued to function even after reporting that the ink cartridges were empty. This contrasted sharply with their previous experience with another brand of printer which ceased functioning once the ink was depleted. This client noted that they were able to print several additional pages after receiving the empty notification, without noticeable fading of the colors. This experience further reinforced their opinion on the cost-effectiveness of ink, emphasizing the seeming wastefulness of systems that halt printing prematurely. The continued functionality of the device after the empty indication was considered a positive aspect, highlighting a difference compared to another brand that apparently depletes a small amount of ink from every cartridge after a cartridge replacement, a practice that this client deemed unnecessarily wasteful. In conclusion, although the initial experience was dominated by frustration with the sizing options, this client's later experiences with the printer's ink efficiency led to a modified, albeit still critical, overall assessment.
Great! Now let's see what our next reviewer has to say about their experience.
This reviewer found this wireless photo printer to be a generally positive addition to their home. Setup was remarkably straightforward, with all the household computers quickly connecting via the wireless functionality. Our reviewer noted a strong similarity to their previous printer, a model that had provided reliable service for a decade, suggesting a similar level of durability might be expected. However, this client did highlight one significant drawback: the considerable noise emitted by the device during its startup and shutdown sequences. While the printing process itself was quiet, the initial and final mechanical sounds were described as surprisingly loud, easily audible from other rooms in the house, a marked contrast to the near-silent operation of its predecessor. This noise level proved to be a considerable source of annoyance. Despite this, several features impressed this client. The automatic opening of the output tray, a feature absent in the older model, prevented the frustrating scattering of printed papers on the floor. The printer also proactively prompts the user to confirm tray closure before powering down, providing an additional layer of protection against accidentally damaging printed documents by leaving the tray open. The reduced size and weight compared to the older model were also welcomed improvements, contributing to a more space-efficient setup. Printing quality, our reviewer confirmed, remained consistently high, matching the standards set by the previous device. Furthermore, the cost of replacement ink cartridges was deemed reasonable, a pleasant contrast to the excessively high prices observed with competing brands. This client's usage scenario primarily involves printing school assignments as needed, along with family photographs, a task for which the printer performed excellently, aided by the purchase of specialized photo paper. Our reviewer specifically mentioned the joy of sharing printed photos with distant family and friends. However, this client acknowledged the device's limitations. It is not intended for high-volume printing tasks, and the cost per page might become less favorable with significantly increased usage. In summary, this client would confidently recommend this printer for users requiring a reliable, good-quality photo printer for low to moderate printing needs. Its ease of use and convenience features outweigh the significant noise issue for those who don't anticipate heavy printing demands. For those seeking a high-volume solution with exceptionally low running costs, however, this might not be the ideal choice. Appreciate you watching. If this video helped, like and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts below. See you soon.